Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of Monday, April 14th to order. Please rise for reflection. Pledge of allegiance. We gather together to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping our minds and hearts impartial. Let us always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Here.
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 Lisa Charlotte. Jeremy.
Here.
Mayor Baumgartner.
Here.
Eileen Manley. Here. Michael Foot.
Here.
Dusty Wonder.
Here.
And Trooper. All Bittmeister. Josh Calendar.
Here.
Thank you. An executive session was held this evening at 6 p.m. for the purpose of collecting information or educating agency members about an issue. There are no revisions or additions to the agenda? No? Public comment on agenda items, if anybody would like to address council on an agenda item. No comments. We'll move to public presentation. Do we have any public presentations?
Madam President, we do not.
Thank you. We need a motion to approve the March, if there's no corrections or additions to the March 24th meeting minutes. We need a motion to approve March 24th, 2025 Borough Council business meeting minutes.
Make that motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can we go back for a minute to agenda items? Is the Green Book and the council mail considered agenda items? The schedule on one of them said we have a meeting on May 26th, which is Memorial Day. We are not having that meeting. Is that correct?
We would not be having a meeting on
Right.
Memorial Day. It's probably just an advance notice that someone didn't look at the calendar.
Right. Very good then. Thank you.
Okay. Administration. Borough Council has been reviewing the State Pennsylvania Act 131 of 2024 and Borough Ordinance number 942. The act, which took effect December 30th, 2024, allows boroughs to increase the maximum allowable compensation for borough officials. The maximum allowable compensation for borough officials has not been updated since 1995. So the new law allows that, and our ordinance allows that.
Yes.
Present ordinance allows that public officials are paid at the maximum allowable compensation for borough officials. For mayors, boroughs with a population of 5,000 or more, but less than 10,000 people were capped at $5,000 per year. Act 131 sets the new maximum at $8,385 per year, probably 10 cents an hour now. For council members, boroughs with a population of 5,000 or more, but less than 10,000 were capped at $2,500 per year. Act 131 sets the new maximum at $4,190 per year. So we're looking to change to get our ordinance updated to accommodate the new act.
Madam President, ordinance number 942 has been advertised. Unfortunately, was advertised, but not in time for council to take action this evening. So council will have a hearing and take action. If they so choose, at your next meeting. The ordinance 942 will replace ordinance number 751A, and that was from 1991.
So just clarification, when this does come to a vote, we cannot vote ourselves a raise. This is for the next council.
Exactly.
So,
It's not for the next council. If there's a council person who is in office now and while they're in office, they can't take that raise. So those members of council whose term does not end at the end of this year the raise would not affect them until the following.
Election.
Nancy, that would be, remember, Madam President, that would be you and I.
So we'll still get the penny an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's keep in mind, this has been this way since 1991.
Yeah.
It's shocking that it's gone this long.
Yeah, really. And the one that, just for general conversation, since we're a borough, we have to operate under the state borough code. But surrounding municipalities like Whitehall, Mount Lebanon, Bethel, all voted for home rule. So they have different laws as to how they compensate. So that's, if anybody has any questions, you can get it at the end of the meeting. We've reached a memorandum of understanding between Castle Shannon Police Department and Keystone Oaks School District for the school code. The renewal for the memorandum of understanding is every 2 years, and that establishes support services by the Castle Shannon Police Department to Keystone Oaks School District. I need a motion to authorize police chief to execute the MOU between Castle Shannon Police Department and the Keystone Oaks School District.
I'll make that motion.
Questions?
Can we hold? Yes, please. Chief, is there anything, big items on this? Any big changes since the previous one, or?
No, sir. This is set by the school code, and this MOU sets expectations for each party with respect to crimes and other activities on school property where each party may have an interest in the outcome, which just so we know what we're supposed to be doing in relation to things that happen between the school district and police department.
Thank you.
It's identical to the one that the borough has been in place
Yeah,
for
the present one.
many years.
Like no change.
No change at all.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So can I have that motion again?
I'll still make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. On the parks policy, that's staff requests that council consideration to establish policies related to the use of each of the borough's parks. The 2025 parks policy has been drafted with the understanding that the policy may need to be revised next year after learning from the 2025 park season. So basically, we're working to have a policy for the new parks, and we're not quite sure.
Madam President, with the updates that have been made at Hamilton Park, staff just was looking to establish policy in order to order signs and to be able to reflect that policy. And so by putting this in place for this year, it'll just give staff something to work with moving forward. And we understand that we're going to learn a lot after this particular season, especially with Hamilton Park.
We have a huge investment there. It's a huge asset, and we really need to protect it. So I need a motion to approve the 2025 parks policy.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Excuse me. We have a bid awards, the purchase of a Public Works uplift for the 2024 Ford F-550 XL 4x4 cab and chassis from Stevenson Equipment Company in the amount of $57,000. It's in the budget. It actually came in under budget. So we need a motion to authorize council president and borough manager to execute all the documentation and pay for the Stevenson Equipment Incorporated related to the purchase of an upfit package for the 2024 Ford 550 XL 4x4 cab and chassis in the co-stars amount of $57,000.
I'll make a motion.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The Canal Street Pump Station, we have a contract with Pump Man Pittsburgh to release the pump control panel and related equipment. And can you just give us a brief summary of what that pump station or what that pump station does?
I'm going to defer to Josh with Lennon Smith just to give council an overview of what the work is going to be done there.
There's a small lift station on Canal Street that serves 8 properties. It was constructed in the late 90s. I think it was 1999. Consists of 2 grinder pumps, control panels. Basically, it gravity feeds sewer from those 8 properties and it pumps it to the Elkistan interceptor. This project's really a maintenance project. So these pumps, we're at the end of their lifespans, actually exceeding it. Usually, a well-maintained grinder pump, you would see 20 years. We're at 26 right now. So they've reached their life expectancy. So this quote includes the purchase of 3 pumps. Only 2 will be used, so you'll have a spare one in case one fails. You'll have one that you can replace it, which would be good because it takes about 16 weeks to get them. So, it's basically pump replacements, control panels.
Again, this picks up the sewage, right?
Yeah, for 8 properties on Canal Street.
Yeah, so that it doesn't interfere with the stream, correct? Is that, or?
So this was initially constructed back in the 90s. They were directly tied into Elkasand's system. And they were having issues when during high flow events, they were getting backflow into their properties. So this was constructed, the lift station includes a backflow preventer, so that prevents sewage from going into the properties. But yeah, the price that was submitted is good. I think it's below what was budgeted.
Yeah, that's
for
also
2025,
below what we
so
budgeted, yeah.
recommend.
Okay, any questions?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Any coordination with Elkasand with their future work on that sewer line? Do we need to do their line?
Nothing with this proposal or this work would affect their actual line.
Okay. And just, because I know they're going to be lining that sewer.
Okay.
And
Yeah, it's nothing we're doing is going to hurt or cause.
I just didn't know if we need to coordinate anything with them with.
So yeah, this would
tie-in and-
include replacement of the piping in the wet well of the station, but we're not touching any piping that's tying into the existing Elkasand sanitary sewer.
Is this pump station is the one where Public Works, a person who's authorized to get down there and look at it? Is it like weekly or monthly, or that is what they look at, right? The pump station?
Right, they could pull the pumps out, or if they're not functioning or if they're clogged up, they can pull the pumps, clean them out. I imagine Bob or someone in Bob's crew is
Okay.
trying to do that.
So did they let us know that there was a problem, or did they have this company come out and take a look at it and say, hey, you're going to need these 3 things done? Or
I think, again, it's sort of preventative maintenance, looking, being proactive instead of reactive. We may have had issues in the past that Bob's had to pull those, or someone from Public Works has had to pull those pumps and unclog them.
Well, I think you did mention that the lifespan is usually 20 years and these are 26 years old. Did you say?
Yeah, it's.
So,
Madam President, we've been working on this with Lennon Smith for close to a year now. And so we knew a number of months ago that the equipment was aging and was approaching failure. And so that's why we began work on this a number of months ago, and we're able to put it in the 25 budget.
great, I'm good with that. Thank you.
okay, then I need a motion to authorize the borough manager to contract with Pumpman Pittsburgh to replace the pump control panel and related equipment at the Canal Street Pump Station in the amount of $94,010.06.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have a professional services agreement. Staff is requesting council consideration to enter into a professional services agreement with Supporting Strategies for the provision of accounting services. The term of the agreement is on a month-to-month basis at a monthly rate of $1,000. Can you comment on that, please?
So, Madam President, we have an employee that will be retiring soon, and staff thought that it would be best to have a support system in place, and that's why discussions commenced with Supporting Strategies. Staff does have familiarity with this firm and has worked with the firm before. And so we've worked with them to develop a scope of work that's going to be pretty minimal. It's going to be more higher level oversight and availability for questions. And that's why we were able to negotiate a price that is actually fairly low. we budgeted, council budgeted $40,000 for 2025. So this expense should come in significantly less than what was budgeted. The advantage is it's on a month-to-month basis, so that if some change needs to be made, we can certainly do that relatively quickly.
Is there any questions? If I have no questions, I need a motion to authorize council president and borough manager to execute a professional services agreement between Supporting Strategies and the Borough of Castle Shannon on a month-to-month basis for a monthly fee of $1,000 per month.
Make the motion.
We have a second.
A second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No, motion carries. Thank you.
One quick question. When will this be instituted? I'm sorry, I
Madam
forgot to
President,
ask
more
that
than
earlier.
likely, we'll implement this, and staff will implement this beginning in May. And I did want to mention, I did forget to mention that in the contract, there is a line item for an implementation fee, and they have waived that fee.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have a professional services agreement that staff is requesting council consideration to enter into a professional services agreement with American Pool to provide services related to the borough's new splash pad.
I'll just make sure we understand that this is for the borough manager to investigate. No, this isn't a vote. Or you want to make a motion that he can investigate?
Right.
Correct.
Getting-
Okay.
I'm seeking council permission to just engage with American Pool.
Okay, so the motion is to authorize the borough manager to investigate professional services agreement between American Pool and the borough for, and just for a quick update, the splash pad has to be tested, the water quality, and it has to be tested every 2 hours. Make sure that there's no bacteria in the water, and anybody has a swimming pool, the acidity level, the pH level, the chlorine level, that all, that has to be checked. So it's a Allegheny County health rule. So, but if we were looking into either our staff doing it, but on weekends, that's overtime. It's, so we're looking at several options, and this is one of them. So I would like a motion to authorize the borough manager to investigate the professional services agreement between American Pool and the borough for the 2025 season.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much. Council committee reports, community engagements, events. Anything?
Community Day, May 31st.
You're engaged.
I am not engaged.
The community's engaged. Okay.
Community Day.
Okay.
The planning's going along well. There's been a lot of progress made. Should be a really, really good, fun event.
Good. Thank
Jerry,
you.
Want to add anything?
No, just, I mean, we're starting to get confirmations on a lot of the events, a lot of the supporting things going on throughout the day. So it's coming together well. We have meetings every couple weeks, so.
Did we have any movement on, I know that, we've had so much issues with fireworks and trying.
So there will not be fireworks this year.
We don't have any place to accommodate them.
We are happy though to announce, hopefully, possibly, we have entered into an agreement to actually have a laser show. So there will be a laser show at night.
That'll be
in the
cool.
park. So basically they bring in a giant 30-foot inflatable outdoor movie screen. They shoot their lasers onto the screen. They have other kind of lighting. And I think the company has like smoke machines and all kinds of other graphics going off. So it's a good event. When I first contacted them, they said time is not an issue. So, if we want them to go 20 minutes, they'll do it. If we want them to go 45 minutes, they'll do it. It's just entering the music and pushing the start button. So we're kind of excited about that and to see what that does up at the park.
Yeah, in several of the meetings, we discussed an alternative to fireworks because there's really no place in Shannon where we can safely set them off anymore. We can't use Upper Hamilton, the smaller park down off of the
O'Brien.
getting enough height up there. So we were looking into other options, a drone show or a laser light show. So I'm pretty excited to hear that we've captured that. Thank you. Finance?
Yes. Received 3 check registers. The first 2 are March 28th and April 4th. I don't have any questions on those. But the one from 4/11 this past Friday, we didn't have time in our pre-meeting because of the other information that was being presented. Is AU resources that was brought up for a second, and I couldn't jump in because there was time problems with that. There's a KU resources amount of $1,278 engineering service fees for phase 2. What is exactly is that? I thought we were on hold on phase 2.
Madam President, we are on hold for phase 2, and I guess with projects, there are expenses that are incurred even though we're not actively seeking this construction. There was coordination made between KU Resources, administration, and PRT because there is going to be some construction work that's happening in that PRT parking lot and sidewalk area. And so there was some coordination that needed to be made for both the borough's project and the PRT project.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes. The same check register, April 11th, Campbell Durant, Labor Council Services. Is any of this changes we're going to make in May with the financial stuff? Is our check registers going to read the same as they have been?
For the time being, yes.
Okay. Because, when it says Special Labor Council, amount of 3,000, is there a way to put a little bit more information on it? It's,
My sense is that that's part of what we do, is if there's a question, and we're more than happy to answer the question for members of council. So in this
There's
particular.
some issues you really can't get into.
Well, I can't.
With the public, like if
Certainly.
you're into a
like if it's a
dispute or
police
something, you
issue or
really can't,
something, yeah.
So.
Or if it's a public works issue.
My President, certainly there are things that certain details that probably wouldn't be able to share in a public meeting. However, I can say that this particular invoice reflects work that was done to explore some questions related around FMLA. And in this particular program that the borough is in, or through our employee handbook, is offering FMLA benefits to our employees. There's some question around FMLA that we just needed to clarify. This invoice also reflected that there were some questions around the pension plan. And so there was some investigating that staff had been doing with Campbell Durant to better understand some of the nuances with the pension plan and the pension ordinances. And then there was some finalization of the police CBAs. That's all reflected in this invoice.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So Lori, I'm good with March 28th, April 4th, and April 11th.
Okay, I need a motion to authorize.
Oh, I don't get
If
that.
there's any other questions? Any other questions?
Yes, I received the same 3 check registers that my coworker did, the 28th, the 4th of April, and the 11th. The one question was just addressed by the manager, so I appreciate that. I did have a question on the 328 check register on page 3, the public works truck repairs for $1,907. Anybody want to take that?
Madam President, the $1,900 expense for the Public Works truck, that particular line item was for state inspection, oil change, tire rotation, check of wear parts, replacing of lights, air conditioner repair. And in this particular vehicle, it was the replacement of a universal joint and a broken leaf spring. So that was pretty major work that was done on that particular vehicle.
Thank you. Second one I have, and the last one is from April 4th. Laura, you may have some insight into page 4 on the 4th, the repair of the pedestrian signal.
Ken can answer.
Okay.
We have one sole vendor who handles intersection and traffic signal repair to include the pedestrian crossing signal. We responded to a complaint that the traffic or the pedestrian crossing signals at Castle Shannon Boulevard and Willow had somehow been cantered, and so they weren't facing the people that were crossing. So they sent a truck out and they fixed it. And they're the only show in town.
It wasn't a truck that hit a signel like
No,
it was
sir.
last
No,
time.
I don't know how it got cantered, but when we deal with anything to do with traffic signals or pedestrian signals, this is our sole source vendor. They're, like I said, I think he's the only one in the South Hills that I'm aware of.
And he got it fixed?
He fixed it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Chief.
You bet.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, I need a motion to authorize the payment of all outstanding bills and invoices.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. HR personnel policy, I don't think we have anything to report at this moment. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Planning and codes?
I have nothing at this time.
I have a question now. Gracious Living, it's not Gracious Living anymore, is it? Are they?
I know there was talk of her selling it, but I never got approached
I don't,
under a different name.
I don't see any people living there.
Now, there was talk of them selling it, so I could go down and check it out a little further.
Madam President, when Wheeler Wonderland was going on, there was some negotiations between the committee and them to use electric because of resources. It kind of sounded to me as if the owners are the only ones living there, so there might only be
I mean, occasionally
small
I'll see a
hand-
light, but I, you know,
Yeah, so it sounds like the owners are living there and that's it. So they're the family of 4 living in a 5,400 square foot property, I guess.
The woman's a hard worker.
and the other was the garage by the parking lot of the Methodist Church on Pine. Apparently, they over this weekend tore down the whole
They
second.
weren't allowed to go over 15 feet and they were having a hard time with it, so I don't know.
It looks like they were installing a rubber roof, just a flat rubber roof on the one.
Yeah,
They tore everything out of the steps going upstairs. They tore everything.
yeah, well, because they couldn't go to do it right, it would have had to go over 15 feet high and you're not allowed in the borough.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it was the owner of the house or the contractor talked them into back to the garage again.
You know, so I don't even know that it's going to have, it used to have a peaked roof. It looks like they're just doing a flat, looks like they were just doing a flat rubber roof on it.
I talked to them on Saturday or Sunday. I got over and was shocked. They said it was more or less going to be like a slanted roof.
Okay. And the massage parlor, the therapeutic massage parlor at the end of Poplar down there.
Yeah, they have to do a lot of paperwork and I haven't heard from them
Well,
for,
all the
Why are the-
signage is done, like all the
Right.
warning notices you put up, that's all removed, so.
they're aware of, they don't have occupancy until they do all the, what's due to be done.
Okay.
But wouldn't the orange signs not being there, someone
No, I
took it
did,
down?
there was just a notice to let them know that they don't have occupancy and they can't do anything without it. And they did come to the office and, talked about it, so. They still, a lot to go, a lot to do yet.
Okay, thank you. Public safety? Nothing? Public Works, Bill isn't here, I don't know. Uh, I have nothing to report. Allegheny County Boroughs Association, I have nothing to report. Civil Service. Other than, I should say that the Seven Springs Conference of the Allegheny County Borough Association, League of Cities and Municipalities was very well attended, probably one of the biggest conferences they've had up there since I've been there. And a lot of information gathering and networking, and state legislator panel was there, county council panel was there. However, our representative, Mr. John Palmieri, as usual, was nowhere to be seen. I haven't seen him in the 12 years or so he's been on there. So I don't know what he's doing for us in the South Hills, but he was absent without representation. Okay, no civil service, economic development,
Nothing here.
nothing, library. In lieu of Lisa, would you have to speak for the library, Marion?
Mary Randazzo, 513 Orange Avenue. And since Lisa's not here, I'll just mention a few things. This last week, we had the Tiny Art Show at the library, and it was a very nice event as usual. I commend our library staff and participants in the art show. This year, we had a caricature artist. That went over very well. It's a nice draw for the event. And we had a silent auction, and the silent auction raised $600 for the library children's programming. So we're happy about that.
Yeah.
And this past Saturday, we had the flea market, and friends did a fabulous job, as they always do. I was there in the morning, and when I was there, seemed to be good attendance. I'm not sure about the afternoon, but by all accounts, I think it went well. And I want to thank our staff, friends, and board for all they do publicly. And I also want to mention for our Easter hours for the library, it's on the website, of course, but we are closed for Good Friday. We are open with shortened hours on Saturday. And of course, we're always closed Sunday. So
Yeah.
if anybody needs to get any resources, we are open for shortened hours on Saturday. And I think we have a fundraiser coming up at the end of the month at Texas Roadhouse in Bridgeville. So if you go over that way, if you can just mention the library, we get our sales receipts for that as a fundraiser. So move it along.
Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions for the library? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Medical rescue team?
Yes, our next meeting is April 26th. I'll be on vacation, so Michael will be at the meeting, taking care of anything that needs to be taken care of for us. And I have a committee meeting tomorrow night regarding vehicles again at 6:30. Thank you.
Thank you. Schickbock?
Next meeting is this Thursday evening at the Heidelberg Municipal Building at 7:30. I will be attending that. That's it.
Do they have a speaker this time? Do they?
Yeah. I don't know who it is.
Okay,
I mean, I know who it is, but I don't have it with me.
okay.
I have it at home. But they are having a speaker.
Nothing from Allegheny County Southwest Tax?
I actually do have a report. There was a meeting held on Thursday, April 3rd at 3 p.m. at the Carnegie Borough Building. The main item on the agenda was a recommendation by a subcommittee for appointing a tax collector. If you recall, council at its March 10th meeting directed its delegates to vote in favor or vote in approval of the RFP subcommittee's recommendation. And so with a 94% majority, Jordan Tax was selected for contract renewal. And that's my report.
Thank you so much. Any questions for manager's report or mayor's report? I'm sorry.
I just want to mention, we had two officers involved in two commendable incidents. One had to do with drugs and one had to do with a hostage situation. So we're out there.
Thank you.
Those did outstanding jobs.
Do you want to elaborate at all or no?
Not this time. I put the commendations in councils.
Okay, thank you. Manager's report?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Solicitors report,
I have nothing.
real estate tax collector.
Yes. For the month of March, $84,335.63. And year-to-date is $1,148,128.28.
Percentage wise, that's about.
It's too early.
Yeah, too. I mean, it's seen,
Yeah,
coming in the.
I can tell by the amount of bills, it seems normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Public comment on non-agenda items. Nobody wants to talk to us tonight. Okay. I will close that.
I think you do. I think you do.
If you have something you want to talk about, you come to the podium, you can state your name and address, or if you just want to stand back there, that's okay too.
My name is James Watching, 4125 Willow Avenue. This is something that we were just thinking of in regards to like EMS services. We, a couple months back, had somebody who walked through our property and they like crossed the tracks and they fell into the, and the services came and helped out. But during that time, the person was overweight and they needed a
Bariatric cervical collar, which they didn't have available.
and we talked to them and they said that the trucks that they had didn't have one. And we were just, while we were here, just thinking about asking, like, was it they mistaken? Do we have one? Is there a way that we could get one for at least one truck? In case like other people sustain neck injuries or anything like that.
Part of what this meeting tomorrow night is trying to fund a number of new trucks, and that means brand new stuff and fully equipped. And matter of fact, I think there's a couple trucks down right now. That's why we're looking into doing this. So, yeah. You got anything to add to that?
No, but certainly can discuss that with our fellow members of the board.
And so since I'm a little hard of hearing, so the problem was that they were very overweight and they couldn't get them into the truck.
They didn't have the appropriate size neck collar for education.
Okay, so, yeah, good. So that's, I guess, a MRSA issue, medical.
Yes,
so-
I'll mention that tomorrow night. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Nancy, I have a question. As a resident, I haven't heard anyone say anything about the Memorial Day Parade. Are we not having one, or do we know the route, or?
As far as I know, we're not having one. You know, it's dwindled down from, after between COVID and then changing, the change of route that when we couldn't use Willow, and we've lost all our participants, the bands that we used to have come, and the participants just aren't there. And as far as I know, the Legion is not interested. They just want to do a service in front of their where they have their memorial. They just want to do a memorial service, and that's it. So we don't have a committee. We don't, so.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's it's, I guess, I know back when I came on council in 95, it was my big goal to revive the parade because it had dwindled down to nothing. And we did revive it. And then when Mike Warhold came on, he was very active. But, you just don't have the staff and the volunteers. And, used to be that all the ball teams marched, the Girl Scouts, the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts, and they drew people because their parents all brought them and they came. So and now people just go away for Memorial Day. They don't, the participation just is not there. We can't.
Once they changed the route, people stopped coming.
Yeah, I can understand that you don't want to stand in Lebanon Shop's parking lot and watch a parade go by.
Yeah.
So, my personal suggestion is we have a cooperation agreement between Dormont and Mount Lebanon. I would like to see our trucks join them and just do a big joint parade, but That's just my personal opinion. So I guess we'll look at this, review it again next year if anybody wants to, really take it under their wing, and it's a lot of work, and they just don't get the participation. So,
But look, council didn't cancel anything. It never came to us to cancel.
but it didn't, there just is,
I know there's a rumor out there that we canceled the parade and it was never a parade scheduled to.
well, yeah, there was never anybody came to say what, so it was kind of a, it just kind of dropped. It just kind of, the people that really, really ran the thing are just, have, disappeared. It just doesn't make sense anymore to put that much effort in to have, 50 people lining up in a parking lot to see people march by. So,
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything, that's why I asked.
yeah, well, that's like, it's on the back burner for, years. If anybody wants to take that ball and run with it, I'll be happy to assist, but. Okay. New business? If there's no new business, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all. Thank you for coming.